You walked out of the theater. What did you think?
I first of all, I didn't
Uh
know what to expect. Didn't know that the subject matter was going to be as strong as it was. Um, and for some people, it might be a little triggering. But what a way to sneak that topic in there, you know? Um,
Yeah, it was so much deeper.
yeah,
And everybody, we're talking about the drama. Um, it was so much deeper than even I was experiencing it when I was watching the movie. You know what I mean? I thought, oh, it's just a little romp. Oh, it's just a little drunken thing. Oh, it's the friends fighting. And then I just,
right. Which
um,
it's packaged as a rom com or like, something like a rom com. But when you go to see it, it's much different.
well, I don't, the marketing for this movie was so cool because it was set up like it was a wedding invitation,
Right.
and it was set up like it was a real couple, and but you couldn't figure out what it was about because when we
Right.
did the 2026 um
Our tier
you
list.
know our tier list, I was sad because it was Zendaya, but I didn't know what the movie was about, and even when I tried to deep dive, there
Yeah.
was just sort of no information, and now I know why.
Yeah. Well, I
Right.
watched, I watch all of the trailers. I caught this trailer when it came out. And even then, with the trailer and them going around the table and saying, well, what's the worst thing that you've done? What's the worst thing that you've done? And
Oh, I didn't see. I don't like to watch trailers, so I
once it
didn't
got
see
to
that.
Zendaya, they cut that part out, but immediately jumped
Oh,
to her friend Rachel saying, what the fuck, like
right,
how could you do that? How could you be
right.
this kind of person? But you don't know what the WTF is about. So
Yeah.
so you're left wondering, by seeing the trailer and then you see all of these posters and all of the key art that they're releasing for it, and you're kind of left hanging. So you're like, okay, I have to go see this movie to see what they're talking about. And once you go to see this movie and the subject is introduced, you're like, whoa. I was not
Well, I think
expecting that. I was not
right. I
expecting that at all.
I think it starts really beautifully because it starts with this sort of like interesting meet cute, right? Like she's in the coffee shop and he sees her, and she's obviously stunning, and he immediately chooses to lie. This
Hmm.
is going to be full with spoilers, so just be. He chooses to lie and say, "Oh, he looks up the book she's reading, and sort of like tries to meet her through the book, right?
Right.
Through like common ground. And then they have that little bit about her being deaf in one ear,
Hmm.
and uh and so you already were like set up to think, well, that's kind of
Yeah.
deceptive. I mean, why
Yeah.
not just go up to her? And, so and then they have this really like sweet, like sort of relationship montagey kind of like little scenes of them together. So when we get to that final scene, but not final, excuse me, when we get to that scene of what was the worst thing you've ever done,
Hmm.
and you already sort of like know he's willing to like blur a line, right? Like it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but he was willing to just like be a liar from the very jump of their relationship with how he met her.
Hmm.
And then each one of them describe something that they've done,
Yeah. And they're
right?
going they're going down the list, and everybody's worst thing that they've done. Well, I wouldn't say everybody's is not as bad, but because Rachel's was equally as bad in my opinion.
No, no, no. They were all
If
bad.
if
Because
not
if you
if
think,
not worse.
no, they were all bad because they actually all happened,
Yeah. Yeah, she
right?
actually went through with it. Yes.
Everybody other than Zendaya's character actually did something, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I was sitting in the movie theater. I felt like I was being gaslit, right? I was like, I mean, yes, she was troubled, and yes, what she was planning was atrocious and horrible.
Hmm.
But it was like she didn't do it,
Right.
right? And it was like you had the husband, the black guy who was married to the white woman,
Hmm.
that couple who had. I mean, he basically took his girlfriend and threw her in front of a dog to be mauled.
Yeah. He used her as a shield.
right? Like like a coward, right? A
Yeah.
coward. Like so, like I wouldn't, and then the maid of honor,
Rachel
Rachel, put a mentally impaired person, child, in a closet. And
in
I've
the
watched
middle of the
TikToks
forest.
in the
Yeah.
middle of the forest. I've watched many a TikTok talk about the fact that we don't actually know if that child made it out alive
Right.
because she switches up her story.
Yes, she does switch up her story, but she does kind of say, well, it was the next day and I heard that they found him.
Yeah, but
But
we don't know.
still, leaving him in
She
there,
locked a child in a closet in the woods. She
that's
lured him out to the closet,
that's
to the trailer,
right.
to an abandoned trailer, and locked him in a closet and left him there.
Yeah.
And then Robert's character, what's his name again? Do you remember? Charlie,
Charlie.
cyberbullied a kid out of the neighborhood.
Yeah. They had to move.
I mean, if think about it this way, if that movie was about any of those three people, if it was a movie about a boy who cyberbullied another boy out of a neighborhood, if it was a story about a boyfriend who threw his girlfriend in front of a dog that was attacking them, or it was about a girl who lured a little child that was mentally disabled or slow, as she called him,
Right.
into the forest and left him there overnight, these would be horrible people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And
I was flabbergasted.
yeah. And it just goes to show that we've all done horrible things in our lives. But when it came to Zendaya's, it was like everything else was excused except for what she said
Thought about,
that she thought about, and
yeah,
she planned but didn't go through with
yeah.
it.
Right, but at what point are we policing our thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah.
What point? At what point is, she was isolated. Now, I'm not making excuses for it. Obviously, she needed help.
Hmm.
She was isolated. She was being bullied, which is much like what Charlie did, right?
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
was being taunted, much like what Rachel did.
Yeah.
The girls were bullying her and bumping into her, and she was isolated, and she she went down a dark road. But the world and the people around her, and it was intervened, right? It was stopped, and they immediately just jumped to this sort of like condemnation of her behavior.
Hmm.
I think she was in high school. I don't remember how old the other three were, but I feel like she was the youngest in the story.
Yeah, I want to say she was the youngest. She was 15, so
Yeah, she
probably
was 15.
early on in high school. I think maybe freshman, and then Charlie was also in high school, so around the same time.
Yeah.
But for Mike and Rachel, I don't know how old they were. I think Rachel was younger, but she didn't really specify how old.
Let's
At least
see
not to
if
I don't recall.
in the drama when she locked the kid in the RV. I'm putting it into okay, so Rachel was 14 years old.
Okay,
So they were probably all around
same age, somewhere
the
around.
same age. Yeah.
Zendaya's character Emma reveals that when she was younger, she was she was depressed and in a dark
We I,
place.
we have to be careful about the words we use though.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
um, and uh, she had planned and almost went through with uh,
A devastating act that would happen in a school.
yes,
How about that? A devastating act that would happen in a school. And it was really dark. It was really dark. I was really surprised, even just like I was taken aback by the imagery that they showed as
yeah,
Charlie was going more and more down the sort of spiral of envisioning her.
yeah.
We don't really know what was, I'm just realizing that we don't really know what we were seeing was anything but what was in his mind.
No, well, when they was that Charlie's mind, or did they just kind of do a flashback to what Zendaya
I don't know,
encountered?
but I don't know. We only ever really started seeing it when Charlie started spinning. Remember, he was like envisioning how her ear got blown out by
Right.
the
Right.
the thing, and
But what about like when Zendaya was walking into the school and she got bumped on the shoulder and the girls were teasing her?
right?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
feel like some of that was
you feel like
flashback.
that was real.
Yeah,
Okay,
some of that was flashback and some of the things that she encountered and experienced going through school and how she was teased and bullied. Um, and she felt isolated and alone, and they drove her to the point to where she wanted to act on something. I'll put it that way.
yeah, yeah.
But did not. She planned it, but did not go through with it. And the reason why she did not go through with it is 3 days before she planned on doing it, another
It happened
incident.
somewhere
Yeah,
else.
another incident happened in the mall, and three people were hit and one passed away, and one of the person that passed away, or maybe all three passed away, but one of those people was a student that they all knew.
She saw the consequences. She
She
saw the
saw the
consequences.
consequences in real
Yeah,
time, and she saw the reaction of everybody and how it devastated everybody in the school, and it ultimately devastated her as well. And
yeah.
so within that period of a day or two, she turned a new leaf and decided, you know what, this is not what I want to do. I actually want to fight for control
She
of,
started advocating.
yeah, and becoming an
Yeah,
activist.
and then what we see in real time after they play this game of
We listen,
we
but we don't
listen and we
judge.
don't judge, um, is real hypocrisy,
Yeah, big time.
right? And as a black character, a biracial character, she also all of a sudden just is completely unsafe in her circle,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah,
And it felt
people
like,
closest to her,
yeah,
the people closest.
Charlie and Rachel just went into this, clutching pearls with no kind of, I mean, he was going down the road of trying to understand,
Right.
but Rachel just went completely into judgment, blame, and
Yeah,
no room for even understanding
yeah. What kind of
after admitting that she locked somebody in a closet and could have killed them.
what kind of
I still am going to argue that that person died.
yeah, but what kind of friend is that? And to consistently hold that over her head, um, not not answer her, um, kind of leave her on red for days on end, not allow for Zendaya's character to fully explain herself, or just come to the fact of like, look, I may have thought this, I may have wanted to go through with it, but I didn't do it.
Right. And she also played victim,
Yeah,
right? She pretended like a cousin that she hadn't heard from in I don't even know how long, all of a sudden became the focus of her reason that she was so upset. I can't remember, Susanna or Susan or something like that. Remember the cousin in the
yeah,
wheelchair?
yes. Which came to visit Rachel, and Charlie
That
tried
was
to
Charlie was a
talk to her.
mess.
He was going through. He was spiraling. He was spiraling.
Yeah. But
Um,
it seemed like that was part of his character. You know what I mean? Like he seemed a little high strung, and how he processed this information, uh, I couldn't say how I would react to somebody telling me something like that.
yeah,
But how he ended up almost bending over his coworker on a table
man.
is beyond me.
Yes.
I was like, how did we get here? Like, you
So,
know,
well, sometimes when you're going through something, you need
that's what you do.
you need an
Is that
outlet. You need an
oh
outlet.
dear. Go have a beer.
that
Go hit a
was
ball.
that was his idea of an outlet.
I was like, he is a mess.
Yeah, yeah. But that was a good scene to put in there because it added more on top of the drama, and it also added a new layer that Charlie had to fight through, and fight not for it to be revealed. And to show that he too was not as perfect as he was letting on.
Yeah.
Even through it all, whereas Zendaya was just trying to get past the fact that she revealed this while she was drunk, and she hadn't done anything else. She never really went through with it, period. So she was the innocent one. And
She was the one that did the least,
yeah, yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
Mike, who was the best man,
He was trying to be
who
neutral and trying to,
see,
keep
no,
them
no,
together.
no,
But
brother did
he was
not
a
get a
little
pass.
softy though.
You know what he was doing? He was hiding behind the girlfriend as the dog was mauling.
and I did not like Rachel
So
whatsoever.
he did the same thing that he did when he was 14.
True.
He didn't stand up to
True.
the dog.
Everybody's situation was their
Yeah.
character.
Yes. And it's like, yes, Rachel. I mean, I was so irked in the movie theater, I
I
think like
know.
most people,
Yeah.
that I had to control my like from bursting, like speaking. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I was so angry immediately because she was self-righteous
Hmm.
and she was, you know, and he was playing Charlie was playing, I don't know if victim isn't the right word, but he was playing like
It's almost like he didn't know her. He felt like he didn't know her.
right.
Yeah.
And in fairness, okay, let's be fair about this. That is a difficult thing to learn that your partner went that dark, right?
Right before you're about to get married. Yes.
Right. And so it would be like if anybody had a real sort of like she had a little bit of a psychological break, right?
Mhm.
She was right. Well, she was using a very dangerous thing to cope with what was a psychological break.
Right.
And he did not come from a place of compassion for her,
Hmm.
right? He went immediately to what is it? How does that reflect on me? What does that mean for me?
Selfish. Thinking about,
Selfish.
yeah,
And
thinking
that's,
about,
I imagine, what a cyberbully is.
right. And optics and how it's going to look and how
Right.
it's going to sound. Yeah.
And he spun out, and I don't know. I felt like the movie really asked a really like it showed a lot of interesting dynamics between when people have uh I don't know, it's like that sort of like that mix of white and black and she was it seemed like she wasn't as wealthy as like Charlie's world because Charlie felt
Right.
like he had the museum job, he felt a little bougie,
Right.
you
And
know
he was concerned that his parents was going to find out
right,
what Zendaya thought about, but didn't
thought
include.
about
Yeah.
thought
Didn't
about
include it.
so the only thing that I had wished watching that movie is that she had more um fight for herself in what they did. Now it's possible that she didn't remember it because she was so drunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Charlie is the one that brought up to Rachel, you threw a kid in the closet,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Like he went to them and tried to resolve it and tried to,
right, but only after she was not going to show up, not be at the wedding.
yeah. Yeah.
He didn't call her on it, from the get,
Right.
and I imagine that's because how was it going to look?
Yeah. But I think he was still wrestling with the thought of his wife to be was had these kinds of thoughts in her mind, and I think that's what was really troubling
Right.
him.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
15 years ago, she had, we're assuming they're around 30, right?
Hmm.
15 years ago, she had really dark thoughts
Right.
and didn't act on them.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, am I marrying, somebody who could potentially do something like that to me?
Right.
you know.
Or, well, but I mean, like realistically, if somebody told me that they cyberbullied somebody bad enough that they left their neighborhood,
Yeah.
I would think they were a horrible person.
Yeah.
So she gave everybody else the grace that she didn't get even an ounce of when she didn't do anything at all
Exactly.
except for think
Hmm.
and plot.
Yeah.
But the question is like, again, when do we police thoughts? But
Yeah.
it's I did. What did you think of the whole DJ thing? What were you gonna say?
Well, I'm glad that you're bringing that up, actually, because we did leave something out in the beginning. Like
Okay,
the beginning of the movie, it led with judgment because they were walking home and they saw who was supposed to be their DJ
right.
smoking meth on the street. And
Right.
remember they
Right.
backed up and said, I know, I think that's her. And they looked across the street and saw her do it. And they were contemplating, they were judging her first and foremost. And then secondly, they were contemplating on whether she was going to continue to be their DJ or not. So it led with judgment. And then, fast forward, they
But
go to the
she was the only one that didn't want to judge, right?
I think they were trying to decide on what they were going to do.
If I remember correctly, she was like, well, I mean,
Right.
does
It
it
could be a
matter,
party,
right?
yes. But it ultimately it does matter. It's your wedding day. You don't want the DJ high on. Yes, it could be a party, but you also want the DJ to do their job properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because even though you might be cool with it, all your guests might not be cool with it. And if something happens, then what? So, but they led with judgment first and foremost.
Okay, but let's be fair about this. If
Mhm.
you were getting mad, so I'm gonna agree with you on the fact that you don't want your DJ doing crack before the wedding. Okay, but let's. She was like, let's talk to him. Her, excuse me. Let's talk to her. Let's talk to her. Right? It was
Right.
her that said that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was the intent. And then when they went to uh the wedding space and she was there and she brought it up, she just lied. And that's when Emma was like, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And what I thought was interesting about that was she was willing to almost hear her out. That was the impression I got, that she was willing to hear her out.
Mhm.
Because again, she was sort of like, it's just drugs,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's
She was
like,
brushing it off like it was no big deal.
I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years, when I was growing up, people were getting arrested for doing marijuana.
Oh, yeah. But marijuana is not meth.
But I'm saying, um,
I get
okay,
I get what you're saying though.
you
I
understand what I'm saying?
understand.
Like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
used to be cocaine in
Right.
cocaine wasn't always illegal, and
Right.
certain drugs were put into certain things. And all she's saying is it's a moral judgment and a legal judgment, and everybody's allowed to make that sort of like stance however they want. But
Yeah.
she wanted to talk to her,
Right.
and I thought, okay, um, that seems reasonable.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I thought the firing of the DJ and then the new DJ
Yeah.
was
That new
was
the
was funny.
replacement was horrible.
Oh, he was funny. I liked him.
But I mean, it was necessary for the storyline, and then also when they're doing the speeches and the loud pop happens.
Right.
Yeah, I saw something like that coming with the DJ.
Oh, hold on one second. I was trying to. I accidentally touched the button.
No
Somebody put a
worries.
s- somebody put a spam in the.
Oh yeah, it's okay. We just
Yeah.
just ignore it.
Okay. Um. So as Charlie gets more and more irrational, he gets more and more irritating, and then he has to give the speech,
Hmm.
and the speech got worse and worse
Yeah.
and worse and worse. I mean, everybody, it seemed to me that nobody knew how to give a speech. Even the father. I was like,
Only person that was
what?
keeping things intact was Mike. He stayed on,
No.
but he stayed on the
He,
timeline. He just didn't, he allowed for Rachel to speak.
yes, exactly.
But as far as timeline goes, and as far as the process, the procedure of the
Yes.
wedding and the reception and all of that
Yes.
happening on time, he did his job as the best man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what he did was neither diffuse or
Right.
deflect a
Yes.
situation
He
that
was neutral.
he was hiding behind somebody,
Yeah.
right? I really
Behind
I was
Rachel.
irritated, but I was irritated by everybody. I was
Yeah.
irritated by everybody. Um and and I was thinking like, wow, what would I do in this situation? Would I call off the wedding? You mean like you love them,
It was
right?
too late. It was too late to call off the
Well,
wedding.
it's never too late to call off a wedding, even after the
Well,
wedding,
true. But
because you
yes,
don't
I mean,
until
I'm
you
just
file, you're
saying,
not married.
to be honest with you, watching this, I was wondering, was the wedding even going to happen?
Yeah.
Were we going to get to that point? But, ultimately we did. And everything came to a head. then.
And here's what: it wouldn't have become a mess if Charlie had not tried to bend the girl over in his office,
Yeah, yeah.
right? If he had just like taken the day off, found a, called betterhelp.com and got a shrink for a day, right? He might have been able to process some of this, but it's his behavior that caused the real mess at the wedding.
Well, yes, and also Zendaya overheard his coworker talking about it,
Hmm.
right outside of the bathroom.
But how did she deal with it? She went up to her and said, "What were you talking about me?" And she said, "Blah blah 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 blah."
Yep,
And she was only cagey because her man had just tried to bend her over a table,
yep,
right? So
yeah,
again, it goes back to Charlie's character. If
hmm
he had just chilled
hmm
or fought it out, like he kept like also, they weren't communicating great because she was hungover and you know she was just trying to like land the plane.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And he was obviously somebody that spun out. You know what I mean?
hmm
And so she was probably just, it seemed like she was just trying to manage his spin,
hmm
and it wasn't, she didn't probably handle it the best. You know what I mean? Like she didn't handle it the best. But okay, so let's just talk about Rachel.
yeah. Oh man, Rachel,
That was
Rachel,
she was a horrible character.
she was.
Yeah.
You could not like her whatsoever. I don't think anybody came out of that feeling like Rachel was in the right.
What's the name of the actress? Here, let me look it up. I have it here.
Elena, it's either Elena or Alana Haim, Haim.
Yeah,
It might be
I
Alana.
see. Um, I really was impressed with how comfortable she was playing such a horrible human being. She was so insufferable. You know what I mean? She was, condescending and self-righteous and
Yeah,
the perfect like foil for all of our anger, and nothing happened to her,
nothing, absolutely nothing.
you know?
She didn't get that job,
Yeah.
but
I wanted a scene though. I wanted a scene with um those two really going at it.
right.
It's a little typical, but I wanted it.
But sometimes that's how it goes when, especially when you're in a scenario like that. I know I've been in certain scenarios, not necessarily where it happens to me, but you can see it happen to somebody else where they're just doing that awkward stare down from across the
Mm-hmm.
room, or
Mm-hmm.
that there's tension in the air, there's drama going on, but obviously there's a buffer there that way that they don't encounter each other. But you can see it, you
Mm-hmm.
can feel it in real time. So they portrayed that perfectly, I think, in the
They
film.
did.
Mhm.
And if I've ever been in that kind of situation, I'm definitely the kind of person that says something.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't like, um, I don't like that kind of energy. So, but it's a little bit of the Bronx in me. I would have been like, what? What's up?
right.
You're right. I get
You would have
real
stopped. You would have
serious.
stopped the wedding right there.
I don't know if I would have stopped the wedding, but I would have been like, you can leave now.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Like she wouldn't have been
why are
at the
you
wedding.
here? Yeah,
Right. Get out.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's I think that Emma's character really wanted to belong.
hmm
And I think that ultimately that was what, she was suffering with, right? She didn't feel like she belonged. And then she went to this like extreme, you know, uh, dangerous uh, fantasy to punish the people because she was being bullied and she didn't belong. And now she belongs, right?
Oh,
And then once she,
you're talking about Zendaya's character, Emma.
Emma,
Okay, yes.
yeah,
Okay, yes.
yeah. What were you like? Oh, you thought
I,
I was talking about Rachel?
yeah, I thought you were talking about
I
Rachel
wasn't
for a
making no
second.
excuses for her. No, 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 no.
Right.
But again, I think that's why Emma wouldn't push back on anybody hard because she didn't want to turn over the apple cart.
Yeah.
I would have been like, "What? What's up?
Right.
Look what you did? Where's the?" I would. You know what? I literally thought this in the movie. I thought if I was her, I'd find out what happened to that kid. I'd find out what happened to the kid. I'd find out what happened to the ex girlfriend, and I'd find out where the cyberbully boy moved to, and find out what his impact. I have them all lined up.
Yeah. But Rachel wasn't a true friend, and
She was jealous.
she let her true colors show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she felt comfortable with getting under Zendaya's skin. She enjoyed the fact of the stare down, and
Yeah.
on Zendaya's special day of all
Well, let me
days.
tell you something. One of the things that I thought afterwards, remember when she said that line about like, don't smile because you're ugly? I mean, excuse me, don't cry because you're ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the first sign right there. She didn't like her.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, she probably wanted Charlie. And so here's this, girl,
Mm-hmm.
it's giving Meghan Markle with the they don't believe a prince should have, a
Yeah,
biracial girl. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And the first chance she got, she went in for the throat.
Mm, yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
She
And
right. And that's typically how it goes, is the ones who hit the hardest or say the most personal or use something against you, they never were really your friend. You know,
yeah.
they just wanted to be around, and they, ultimately she loved to see Zendaya squirm. Yeah.
So let's talk about the ending. Did you like the ending? I liked it.
I like the fact that they, despite everything that they went through,
Hmm.
um, the obviously the love came through in the end, and they were willing to, face each other, face the fact, and start over. And they
Yeah.
attempted several times to start over, new slate throughout the movie, and finally it was like, okay, you know,
Well, because now he was in the wrong.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they,
because now
yes, yes, he was definitely in the wrong,
he was in
and
the wrong. He had the
yes,
dust up. He had the fight. He was
yes,
sitting there with the bloody eye and the bloody nose.
and she still
So
accepted
now,
him.
and so now it was okay to have a do over, right?
Right, yeah, she
Right.
still accepted him.
She didn't get the grace, but he got the grace.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked the ending, but I thought, you know, there's always, a situation where somebody may not give you the same grace that you give them. And
right,
I felt like she could have, I mean, like, she found out on the day of her wedding that the day before or day of, I don't even know what the timeline was, he sexually harassed and tried to sleep with somebody
yeah,
in his office. And that was
yeah,
coming to the wedding,
yeah.
you know?
And his coworker was trying to keep it quiet. She was
Right.
trying.
Well, you see, that was one of the points that I thought was really interesting when Emma's character overheard her outside the door.
Hmm.
I love that she just went outside and said, "Were you just talking about me?" I loved
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's like honest and like you just have to,
Straightforward. Right.
be straightforward about like what's up.
Hmm.
And then when she ran away, and then he came in and he couldn't even keep it together,
Hmm.
right?
He
And
was
he's
already in panic mode.
devolving.
Yeah, he's
He was
already.
devolving.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh no, we're gonna go get her."
Hmm.
And I was like, "You know that's right. Go get her. Go get her." Watch these chickens start running around without their heads.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Um, so I mean, it's definitely watchable, and I think it's still in the theaters. If people can go see it,
Oh
they
yeah,
should definitely go see it.